Everyone assumed this week's moon phase was just another part of the cycle until it started stirring something deeper. As of May 17th, your intuition is sharper than any horoscope, cutting through illusions with eerie precision. Something quiet, yet powerful is shifting, and while it may seem subtle, it's anything but small. The moon is entering its last quarter, shedding its light. But it's not alone. Saturn and Venus are stepping into the cosmic stage, aligning with the moon within days of each other. Their presence is amplifying a strange, elusive energy, one that's creeping into your thoughts, your dreams, and the skies above. This week carries an undercurrent that defies easy explanation. If you're not paying attention, it could sway your choices in ways that only reveal themselves in hindsight. There are rare moments when the subtle becomes seismic. This is one of them. Stay present, stay aware. If you feel like it, share one goal or intention you're setting for this week, something you're focusing on or hoping to shift. You can even include 444 in your comment as a small marker of protection and alignment under this week's waning moon. It might be interesting to look back next week and see what actually moved. And if your mind's been foggy, like you keep forgetting things or spacing out more than usual, keep watching. Because there's one very specific reason why this is happening right now, and I will explain it later, so stick around. But before that, there's something else, something darker. Because what's coming next isn't just a shift, it's a drain. You're not tired, you're being emptied. We're heading straight into the last quarter moon on May 20th, but don't be fooled by that calm name. This is the quarter of collapse. It's the moment when the moon's energy dips beneath the surface and takes you with it. This is when your spiritual battery starts to flicker. You'll start noticing it in small ways, feeling unmotivated, disconnected, unsure of what's even real for you anymore. But underneath that confusion, a purge is happening. Ancient mystics called this window the time of moon sickness, a phase when invisible energies, even energetic parasites, could latch onto your emotional body and drain your light. And during this phase, the symptoms are spiritual: confusion, ego unraveling, and a loss of identity that feels like forgetting who you are. But maybe, just maybe, forgetting is exactly what's needed. This week isn't designed to break you. It's designed to reveal what was never you to begin with. There's a part of the lunar cycle nobody talks about. No glowing crescent, no powerful full moon energy, just emptiness. This is the dark moon phase, the sliver of time between the last quarter and the new moon. This is when the veil is thin in reverse. It's not just that spirits get closer, it's that your subconscious starts to whisper louder. Guilt you thought you buried, regrets you swore you were over, faces from your past showing up in dreams. Déjà vu, that doesn't make sense. Signs that feel too precise to be random. That's not coincidence, that's contact. During the dark moon, what you ignore will visit you. What you acknowledge will guide you. You might find yourself remembering things you didn't even know you forgot. Childhood feelings, old lives, faces that don't belong to this reality but still feel true. This isn't a haunting, it's a message. If you've been seeing repeated numbers, 1111, 333, 144, or waking up at strange hours like 3:33 a.m. on the dot, pay attention. Your timeline is thinning and something wants you to notice. Not everything that returns is here to stay. Some things come back just so you can let them go the right way this time. The dark moon is a mirror without light. You're not meant to see clearly. You're meant to feel through the dark until the shape of truth starts forming. Music. What if your biggest limitation is your story about limitation? On May 22nd, the moon meets Saturn, and everyone's going to want to say, ugh, Saturn again, like it's the villain. But what if this isn't about punishment? What if this is the mirror you've been avoiding? Saturn isn't here to scold you. It's here to reveal what you keep blaming so you don't have to grow. The moon hits Saturn, and suddenly, all your excuses feel hollow. Think about it. How many times have you said that you just don't have the time for something, that you're not ready yet? Or how it's the energy lately that's been keeping you behind? But what if the real weight on your chest is a belief you won't drop? This Moon-Saturn conjunction is like a cosmic intervention. It exposes the loops you're stuck in, the fear that hides behind your logic, the self-imposed structures you confuse for destiny. Saturn is not the wall. It's the echo of your own doubt finally bouncing back. This energy is going to make you feel cornered, but not by others. By the truth you already know but haven't acted on. If you've been avoiding a decision, this is the week the avoidance starts to burn, not to destroy you, but to force clarity. Remember, the Moon is emotion, Saturn is structure. When they merge, you feel the shape of your own emotional patterns. Some are cracked, some are leaking. And now you can't look away. Most people aren't afraid of failure, they're afraid of success that demands they change. And here's the real twist. Once you accept that, the weight lifts, the fog clears, and progress becomes unavoidable. You're not losing clarity, you're being wiped clean. Let's talk about what no one is saying right now, because if you've been feeling foggy, scattered, like your brain's working through static, this isn't just you being tired or distracted. This is intentional interference, and it's coming from the Moon. In the days between the last quarter and the new moon, the Moon's frequency begins to shift. And you may already be feeling it, even if it hasn't happened yet. It starts acting like a kind of cosmic magnet, pulling loose fragments of memory, emotion, and thought patterns into the background. And not randomly, strategically. Think of it like a reset button that only targets the stuff you've already outgrown, but for some reason keep carrying around. Old grudges, outdated self-doubt, past conversations you keep replaying, embarrassments from years ago, ghosts of timelines you never chose. What if the reason you're zoning out mid-sentence, forgetting names, losing your train of thought, or even spacing out in important moments isn't because something's wrong, but because something's finally being let go of? Not all forgetting is loss. Sometimes it's freedom. See, your mind is incredibly adaptive, but it can also be stubborn. It clings. And when it clings to things that aren't serving you anymore, it creates resistance in the body and in your path forward. That resistance is what leads to the heavy fog so many are feeling this week. The lunar frequencies are scrambling the leftover loops. They're closing tabs you forgot were open. They're deleting the cached energy from an identity you've already outgrown. So here's the twist. Instead of fighting the fog, sit with it. Let it do its job. Notice what memories you can't access as easily, what names you no longer want to say, what patterns feel like they've lost their hold on you. Forgetfulness is a sacred filter. It shows you what your soul no longer wants to carry. And no, it's not comfortable. It might feel like you're being ungrounded, but that's only because your energy is detaching from things that were weighing you down without you even realizing it. This isn't confusion, this is spiritual formatting. Let the fog roll in, because when it clears, you'll be lighter than you've ever felt before. This isn't about love, this is about hunger. On May 23rd, the moon drifts toward Venus, and with that, something ancient and emotional gets stirred. At first, it might just feel like you're longing for connection, a little attention, some kind of sign that you're seen, wanted, valuable. But this alignment doesn't just amplify love, it exposes your need for it. What starts as a passing thought, like, "I wonder what they're up to," suddenly becomes a full-blown urge to message an ex, or post something just to get a reaction, or fish for compliments from someone who doesn't really matter to you. It's subtle at first, but make no mistake, this Moon-Venus moment is seductive, and it knows exactly where your weak spots are. This isn't judgment, it's a mirror. The craving you feel, that's not about another person. That's your soul's way of revealing a pocket of insecurity that's been lurking just under the surface. And during this alignment, that insecurity wants to feed. It wants attention, approval, softness, romance, even if it's shallow or unsustainable, even if it hurts later. So ask yourself, can you hold your own emotional weight, or are you still waiting for someone else to carry it for you? Because here's the truth. You will be tempted to reach out, to confess something, to overexpose, to seek instant connection just to avoid feeling alone for a few hours. And hey, some people will act on it, and maybe it'll be cute for a second, maybe it'll even feel like fate. But if you're not grounded in your worth before this surge hits, the emotional crash afterward can hit hard. Desire without self-worth is a setup for heartbreak. The Venus-Moon energy is powerful, beautiful, but also deceptive. It can make illusions look like home and distractions feel like destiny. That's why this is a test, not to punish you, but to see if you've grown. If you can ride this wave without outsourcing your worth, without trying to prove anything to anyone, then you won't just survive the craving, you'll outgrow it. There's something strange about May 23rd, a quiet, hollow kind of strangeness. You might wake up and feel like the day just doesn't begin, like you're drifting through time, watching yourself go through the motions, disconnected from your own thoughts. And maybe, just maybe, part of you panics. Why do I feel like this? Am I missing something? But here's the truth. This isn't a mistake. This is the pause. The moon is approaching its final descent into shadow, preparing for the new moon reset on the 27th. And this phase, this exact point around the 23rd, is what some ancient mystics called the gap of power. It's the breath between endings and beginnings, the space between the exhale and the inhale. Nothing is clear here because it's not supposed to be. You might feel lost, foggy, unmotivated. You may even question your path, your plans, your identity. And in the modern world, we've been trained to react to confusion with force, to fix it, name it, solve it immediately. But spiritual timing isn't mechanical, and this moment is spiritual, deeply. Confusion is not always a trap. Sometimes it's a doorway you haven't walked through yet. May 23rd is not a day for fixing. It's a day for floating, for listening, for not knowing. If you try to force an answer, you might end up with one, but it'll be the wrong one. It'll come from fear, not clarity, from urgency, not truth. So breathe, step back, and allow the mystery to exist without immediately needing to define it. This is the sacred silence. This is where intuition sharpens, not by noise, but by absence. If you feel disconnected from your goals or your purpose, let that disconnection speak. It's peeling you away from things you were never meant to attach to so tightly in the first place. Stillness isn't empty, it's just full of answers you're not supposed to hear yet. And if you find yourself staring at the wall, losing time in a memory, or walking in circles not knowing why, don't shake it off. Stay there a little longer. There's something moving in the unseen layers, something about to unlock, but only if you can let yourself drift without trying to direct. Let the unknown breathe, because what's forming in the dark will soon rewrite the map you thought you knew. Whatever shattered was already breaking. Let's talk about the strange little signs, the ones you might ignore or brush off as coincidence, the glass that slips out of your hand, the light bulb that bursts the moment you enter the room, the necklace you always wore suddenly snapping at the clasp. These aren't accidents, they're releases. This week, especially around the 22nd through the 24th, the moon begins acting like a silent cleanser, sweeping through your energetic space. Not with fanfare, not with drama, but with precise, surgical silence. And often, that cleansing comes in the form of things breaking. Why? Because everything you touch carries energy. Every object, every piece of clothing, every device. And when those things are tied to a version of you that's starting to dissolve, they can't always come with you. You didn't break it. The energy inside you shifted, and the object couldn't hold on. It could be something simple, a plate you've had for years, a pair of shoes you always wear when you're anxious, a piece of tech that seems to glitch for no reason at all. Or it could be something more symbolic, like a frame holding a photo from a life you've outgrown suddenly falling off the wall. These aren't just material accidents. These are spiritual signals. The moon isn't punishing you. It's prying loose the dead weight. And sometimes it has to snap something in the physical world to send the message through your senses, because your logical mind doesn't always listen to feelings, but it'll notice a broken mirror. So don't rush to fix everything that breaks this week. First, ask yourself, what was this thing connected to? What emotion? What phase of my life? What belief? And more importantly, what part of me is being asked to let go? Broken things mark the moment your energy became too big to stay small. This is a week of endings that aren't loud. Endings that come in clinks, snaps, rips, crashes. They aren't curses. They're confirmations that the old energy has expired, that your frequency no longer fits inside the cage of what you used to hold on to. So the next time something breaks this week, don't panic. Don't curse your luck. Pause, breathe, and say, thank you. Because whatever just fell apart was making space for what's finally ready to begin. One small release can change your entire trajectory. As we edge closer to the new moon, there's this invisible gravity in the air. A pulling, a soft pressure, like something deep within you is preparing to shed a layer it's worn for far too long. And maybe you're feeling it already, a strange irritation, or a subtle sense that something doesn't fit anymore, even if you can't quite name it yet. That's not random. That's the waning crescent phase starting to whisper its instruction. And the message right now is simple. You need to let go of one thing, not everything, not a full identity, overhaul, or some big, overwhelming life purge. Just one thing that has been quietly gnawing at your energy behind the scenes, something you've been dragging from one cycle into the next, even though deep down it doesn't serve you anymore. Maybe it's a repetitive thought that drains you. Maybe it's the bitterness that creeps in whenever a certain name is mentioned. Maybe it's the constant need to prove yourself in spaces that never respected your worth to begin with. You don't need to fix it, solve it, or even fully understand it. You just need to recognize that you don't want to carry it forward. This phase of the moon is not about doing more. It's not about pushing harder. It's about unloading weight so that the next cycle doesn't just repeat the last one. And the magic lies in that one choice, that one conscious decision to say no. This doesn't belong with me anymore. Subtraction is the secret ritual of transformation. What you remove defines your next chapter more than what you add. Even if it feels insignificant in the moment, that one release could ripple across your entire timeline. Because the moon doesn't just work in light, it works in intention. When you align with its waning rhythm, when you allow something to fall away, you give the universe room to insert something new, something aligned, something you didn't even know you were asking for. So, as we move into the final breaths before the new moon, ask yourself this. What is the one thing I'm ready to stop carrying? And be honest. You don't have to announce it to anyone. You don't even need to have a plan. Just decide. Let it go. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever that looks like for you. Because if you do it now, in alignment with this cosmic window, you might just find that the next cycle opens more doors than you thought were even possible. Something is rising beneath the surface, and most people won't recognize it until it's already here. The final days of this month may seem quiet, uneventful, even still. But beneath that stillness, something is stirring. During this week, the moon is slipping into shadow, and with it, a silent portal is beginning to open. It's not dramatic. It won't come with a sign in the sky. You'll feel it in your body before your mind ever catches up. This isn't just another week. It's a threshold. Most people will miss it, not because it's hidden, but because they're too distracted to notice. But if you're paying attention, if you're clearing space, getting quiet, letting the noise drop away, you'll catch it, you'll feel the shift, and it will change the way you move forward. Because this next moon isn't just bringing new energy, it's bringing a new version of you, and when you're truly ready to meet them, the moment will come to find you. If you're still here, thank you for your presence. If this resonated with you and you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. It means a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Until next time, take care and stay connected for more soul-stirring content.